do believe we're live. I think we're live. Just if you let me know in the chat if you can hear me, my microphone's working. Once we know it is, we're going to crack on. Everybody's a little bit nervous. A lot of panic stations, isn't there? A lot of panic stations all over social media. Everyone's getting worried. It's been a funny deal, really. Just talk you through the deal and just let you know that I am going to be multitasking like you wouldn't believe to take you through the last 20 minutes of transfer deadline day. Thank you, Jason, who has let me know that I can be heard loud and, well, possibly clear. Who knows? Definitely loud, though, I would imagine. Okay, so Jarrod Bowen. This is the man that we're waiting for the deal to close. I think probably what we should do before talking about the player, and bearing in mind I've just announced that I am trying to multitask. Got Sky Sports News right there. The yellow banner, ticker tape's going there. I've got Twitter up there, and I've got another West Ham feed right there, and I've got the live chat here. So you have to excuse me if I get a little bit distracted. But anyway, at the moment it's announced officially, we'll talk about that, and maybe one of you will let me know before it's actually happened. Two things. I want to discuss the player, but firstly, I want to talk about the deal because it's been a funny old one. Because everyone has got very, very panicky, and I do understand that because with 19 minutes left, clearly it's looking like it's run a long time. There's lots of people. I've just done I just tweeted out to that Carve Solico, and it was about him reporting what's going on. And when I tweeted out, I basically said, look, I just can't believe that so many of these people that claim to know about this transfer, what they do is they cover themselves from every angle. We're going to sign him. We're not going to sign him. The deal's going through. The deal's broken down. Basically, you can't help but be right by the end of it. The fact of the matter is, last night, nobody said anything about it. This was something that happened this morning. Now, apparently, we made contact yesterday afternoon. We started speaking with his agents yesterday afternoon. Nobody knew. The club kept it under wraps, which is good. That's what we want. The fact of the matter is, he was on his way to Crystal Palace. Now he's turned down Crystal Palace. I don't know why. I wasn't in the room. But I guess we offered him more money. You've got to look at the league positions, and you've got to think, well, he's not West Ham ain't more attractive than Crystal Palace at the moment. Crystal Palace more settled team. We've basically offered him more money. So that's why he's over it. That's why he's negotiating. So anyway, he's had his medical today. He's been to training ground, which apparently didn't put him off. Met the scouts, which took all of half a second. Shook hands with everybody. Said hello to the medical staff, who he'll be getting to know really well, I'm sure. That's what happens when you sign at West Ham. You get injured. I'm joking, by the way. And then basically he's head over to the stadium, to sign the contract in front of the cameras and to do the holding up of the shirt and have his picture taken in front of the carpet and all that other stuff. So anyway, it's dragging on a bit. But my point is, we've not had a Crystal Palace have been lining up this deal for 4 days, as I understand it. We've jumped in and tried to nick it at the last minute. So money's been found from somewhere, which is another story entirely. And we desperately want to make this deal go through. Jarrod Bowen wants this deal to go through so much that, look, he doesn't want to stay at Hull. Okay? He's run his contract down at Hull. Because he's done that, he has shown the capacity that he can look after himself and he can be quite ruthless. And Hull don't want to let him go out on a free. So Hull want to sell him now. He also wants to go now. We are trying to tie him down. Once it's released, as you will see, he's been tied down on a 4 or 5 year contract with a 2-year option. I'm pretty sure that that's what you'll read. We have to put that 2-year option in there because he's shown that he will wind his contract down, and you need the security. You get that. You do 5 years, 2-year option with 23-year-olds. You've got good security on it. The relegation clause, that's standard. That came out for some reason during the day. 50% when you get relegated. That's inserted anyway. That just happens at West Ham. We confirmed that last week from the highest possible source at West Ham. That's done. I've not had any interaction with anybody there today. I don't claim to know, but I do know one thing. There's one thing. There was at one point that a very high-ranking West Ham official, the player's agent and the player were locked in a room for 2 hours, yet everybody was reporting what was going on. I know someone was there. They said to me he'd been locked in a room for 2 hours. So people are making stuff up. You've got to take all this stuff a pinch of salt. So, Boy Blue is in the chat here. He's saying, Gonzo, give us some good news. I've got no good news for you. I'm not saying I've got bad news. There's just no news at the moment. We've got 14 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. And we're hoping it goes through. I mean, everybody needs this to go through. Bowen wants it to go through. He wants his money. He's not anywhere near. Excuse me. He's got nowhere near this money at Hull. He doesn't want to take another 6 months or whatever it is earning the lesser money. Somebody reported he was on 60 grand a week. Hull, he's not. That's why he's on next to nothing at Hull. This is his payday now. So, anyway, that's what I think about it. If you've been up, we've been quite cool about it all day. If you watch Gio's videos, Gio's been cool about it all day. If you've been with me on the forum, as the news has come, I've been saying it on the forum. We've been calm about it all day. It's just not. Everyone's got their knickers in a twist. Everyone's got very, very worked up. I understand it now, but people getting worked up 4 or 5 hours ago, they got lost on the way from the training ground to the stadium. Apparently, it took him an hour. Well, it does at that sort of time, doesn't it? 7 o'clock from Rush Green, round Stratford, trying to park through Westfield. It's not going to be quick, is it? Anyway, that's that. I'm just not getting too conspiratorial about it. Let's deal with the player himself, and then we'll look at the chat, and hopefully by the time I've stopped talking, he'll have signed. This is a good signing. This is not somebody that we have to look up on YouTube. We did a cup of tea, and we've done many podcasts on this very channel. And during the chat, the question always comes up: who would you like to sign? And the question came up. Gio Gonzo, who would you like to sign out the championship? Gio mentioned his couple, and I said, look, I don't really follow the division. I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat can say. A number of you fine folks who are watching now suggested Bowen. Wonderful. Doug, God bless you, sir. Jared Bowen, Biscuit Fund. Thank you very much indeed, Doug. I didn't know anything about Bowen at this point. At that point, I went and had a look at him. People on the forum talk about him. He's a known player. This is one of the best players in the championship. He's direct. He's relatively skillful. And he's got a real eye for goal. What I love when I looked at his goals is he scores some long goals, some opportunistic goals, but also some fluky goals. Ones that go in off your shin, off your bum. In fact, I'm not sure I've seen one go off his bum. I don't know. But you know what I mean? You've got to be in the right place at the right time to score those sort of goals. So I think mixed in with those goals with the long rangers, I really like. I like what I see. Also, a lot of the time, he takes his shot early, which surprises the keeper. Now, for too long, we don't have enough players that shoot. I guess Antonio has a shot, but they're not always the most accurate shots. Got a lot going for him, Antonio. Possibly our best player. If he finishes the season well, he may well get player of the year, but he's got to stay fit. But what we seem to lack is somebody that can shoot accurately and frequently. I think Sebastian Haller is an accurate shooter. He doesn't shoot very much. He can go a whole game without having a shot. Yarmolenko can shoot accurately, but he doesn't play. He's never fit. I don't know what it is, but let's say 75, 80% of his West Ham career, he's not been available. Almost 100% of his Borussia Dortmund career, he was unavailable. He is basically unfit. So what we need is somebody that's fit and plays all the time and shoots accurately. This is the guy. This is the guy. Right here. I was going to say we got him. I'm holding off by saying we got him. There's yellow. You can probably see it reflected in my glasses, can you? There's yellow everywhere, right? A good player. Somebody that we need. And also somebody that gives a little bit of an uplift to everybody else in the squad. I think with the Sorchek, is that his name? Sorchek? I think that's his name. I think with the addition of Sorchek, and the addition of Bowen, immediately our bench looks better. One of the right backs comes back. And when I mean that, I mean Johnson or Fredericks. The bench looks better. Even just one of them coming back. Then we've got the young lad goes on the bench. He's not unknown anymore. We don't look at him and think, I don't know who he is, don't know what he can do. We've seen him. We know what he can offer. We know a little bit about him. Maybe you get Mark Noble on the bench. Then maybe you get Fornals and Lanzini on the bench or something like that. Maybe Felipe Anderson's on the bench, whichever one it is. Maybe you just have a front three of Sebastian Haller, Bowen, Mikel Antonio. But as we know, not everybody is always fit all the time. So, I mean, it does give us some options, gives us some firepower. And as I say, I think gives everybody a lift. I mean, the playing squad here to get up and get away from the position that we're in. I just wonder, actually, you look at the way we played against Liverpool. I know Liverpool didn't get out of second gear or however you want to call it. But certainly, we had some chances, 3 or 4 chances in and around the box. But I didn't feel we had the threat on the counter-attack. This gives us that. This gives us that. It's so... I just felt that without Mikel Antonio and without Felipe Anderson, we had no threat on the counter. This gives us that. I mean, we'd have to be very, very unlucky, and it would be very West Ham, of course, to have all these 3 players injured. But we've got something there. The thing that I find absolutely... I say key. I don't know about key. But what I do find quite interesting about it is how David Moyes must be feeling. Because he was at Everton a long time, but I don't ever remember him ever spending massive money. I remember him spending big on Fellaini. Maybe someone in here will be able to tell me the biggest transfer he made at Everton. But I think he signed Fellaini for Everton for about 15 million quid, something like that. Big signing. And he did well to get that money out of Bill Kenwright. But I don't think there was a lot of it, and I think he had to cut his cloth. Clearly, when he went to Manchester United, he had the ability to buy players. When he was here last time, what was it? A bit of Patrice Evra for nothing, Jordan Hugill for the price of a Jordan Hugill, of course. And I just don't feel he had a lot of money. I think Souček is a loan, but I think with a view to, if it works out, then it's 18 million and it's a permanent transfer. But to sign a player and one of the best players in the Championship, and the best players in the Championship are not cheap, to actually have, he's just got the job again, and to have, depends which paper you read or which website you read or whatever, but we think the deal is around the £20 million mark. It's structured in such a way, but it's fine. All the deals are structured. Very, very few, if any. Maybe the odd Manchester City deal was paid for all the money up front. But I just think for David Moyes, he must feel like he's been backed. Someone's telling me if Fellaini for 29 million. I thought that's how he went to. Didn't Man U sign it for 29 million, Mike? I'm not sure Everton. I thought Everton was about. I thought it was about 15 odds. Someone thinks 20 million. But you get what I mean. It's around here. I'm pretty sure Man United signed Fellaini for pretty much 30 million. Everton signed him for a lot less than that. My point is, whether you argue the fine detail, the point is this is pretty much the most he got to spend at Everton. We've probably beaten that with the Bowen signing, which is still not popping up on my yellow ticker tape at the moment. So I think, I think it's good. I think he's going to feel buoyed. I think he's going to feel very, very positive about it. He's at the stadium. I can look. I'm going to see here. I've got loads of windows open up there. I can still see people are getting very, very squeaky bum. People are very nervous. I don't think he's gone all this way at a medical to turn it down now. I wouldn't be surprised if right at this moment the deal is already done and they're just taking the pictures and doing all that stuff. You know what they're doing. Have the picture taken with him with a pen and all the rest of it. Arm round David Sullivan. And then, picture holding up the shirt. Bowen on the back. Number 69. All that sort of stuff. That's what I think's happened. That's what I think's happened anyway. Moyes has gone down. It would be almost catastrophic for it to go wrong now, and so wrong. So wrong. I can't even be bothered to pretend that it will go wrong or get superstitious about it or anything like that. It's all lined up, and I think you imagine. By the way, I said I wouldn't talk about it. I will just once. You imagine the stadium tomorrow if this doesn't go through, and we went a goal down to Brighton. Crikey. Wouldn't be good. But I don't think that's going to happen, actually. I don't. I think we sign a player, hopefully at some point in the next 4 or 5 minutes, because I need to go to bed at some point. What does he say, DG? Don't go to sleep, DG. That's what David Gold said. Don't go to sleep. Well, I will be going to sleep. I can assure you of that. I've even come down to the man cave here. We've had a drink. But I was watching like you. I was sat at home. I say sat at home. It's like home's a long way away. Home's just up there. I was sat there watching Sky Sports News in the lounge thinking, yeah, okay, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Still not happens. So I thought I'll come down here. We'll see it through. 3 minutes and 35 seconds. But it doesn't matter. This is the time. Do you ever watch? You know, if you ever watch this, of course you're watching it. Anybody that's watching this stream now watches Transfer Deadline Day, because you have more sense to be watching Netflix or something interesting rather than a geezer setting his sheds. But anyway, what happens is they usually get to the end and then they say, oh, Transfer Deadline Day, shut the window. Bang, shut. Oh, but you can get your registration in for another hour or something like that. I'll tell you now. I'll tell you all now. I'm not sitting here until midnight. I've got a train to catch in the morning. Gio's been on a train for about the last 4 days, heading down for the games. He lives in Outer Mongolia. And you see him, seen his videos today at the train station. By the chip shop. All that sort of stuff. By the whiskey distillery. Lots of Scottish stuff. So yeah, he's heading down. I think he gets in at 7 o'clock in the morning. I think he's meeting some of the boys for a little pub crawl breakfast in the Weatherspoons. Possibly, if you want to go and join him, probably can. It'd be. And do you know what it's like? So I think he's getting a coach. He's not getting a coach. He's getting a train, isn't he? Hopefully, no one's sat next to him, because otherwise, they'll have that thing where your head starts nodding. If someone's sat next to you, you can't rely on them, can you? Maybe he's got one in pillars that goes round. Who knows? Anyway, 2 minutes to go. Sound like Jim White, don't I? But less Scottish. I thought he's been annoying me. He's been annoying me on TalkSport all week. I can't stand the fella. He's so sensationalistic. You could just tell he loves the celebrity. He's like Moose, isn't he? He loves the celebrity. Doesn't like the fans. I don't just mean us, by the way. He was having a go at Aston Villa fans for apparently they run on the pitch. No, I don't condone running on the pitch. Absolutely, right? But they ran on the pitch. Nothing happened because they got through to the cup final, right? And he was on the radio with Natalie Sawyer and he was saying, yeah, but what if something happened? And he started citing this time that Hibs and Rangers, there's something that happened. The fans were on the pitch at the same time. They started fighting. And Natalie Sawyer saying, yeah, but it didn't happen, Jim. It was everyone was in good spirits and a good mood. He was saying, yeah, but what if it had? But it hadn't. And he was, he slags our fans off. He slags Aston Villa fans off. He was at it the other day with Arsenal fans. He just can't help himself. Don't like Jim White. Anyway. He's not got a yellow tie on. I've got a yellow one. Thank goodness. 40. Not many seconds left, I'm afraid, folks. We'll just let it go. We'll let it go, and then we'll take some of your panicky messages from the chat. Yeah, you can see my confidence is waning a little bit, isn't it? Actually, it's not. I think the deal's done. The deal's done because I just cannot imagine a scenario. Everyone's been saying, oh, yeah, the club are going to come out and said, we tried. I just don't think they're that. They've got a countdown. They've got 8, 7, 6, 5. They've got this big count. You see it in my glasses. Maybe you can. 3, 2, 1. Boing. Window closed. You can probably see it in my glasses, can you? There we go. Window closed. Jim Bowen signed for Crystal Palace. Can you hear fireworks? Why's there fireworks going on? Oh, it's Brexit, isn't it? I forgot. It's Brexit. I thought everybody optimist. Fireworks going off. We've signed him. I thought it's for the transfer. It's not for the transfer. It's Brexit, isn't it? I'll tell you what else it is, though. Is self-assessment deadline day. More important than both of those things. Self-assessment deadline day. If you haven't got your accounts in yet, can you do them in 59 minutes? You're going to be in a lot of trouble. You get £100 fine if you haven't got them in, by the way. So yeah, anybody that works for themselves has been running around like a hamster in a wheel the last few days, myself included. Look, it's not here. Well, sorry, folks. It's all over. No, but listen, don't panic. He says, don't panic about it. I'm sure it will be announced imminently tomorrow, something like that. I don't think they could just. I don't think they want Jim White and who's that, Mark Hughes and Yap Stam to announce it. I'm pretty sure they're going for the picture. Right, we'll get your comments in a second. Hold on. Let me just have a quick look. Oh dear, no, it's definitely not. People are angry. People are angry. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, I'm going to go to the live chat now. I hope you lot are less angry. A little bit sensitive. What are we saying here? Right. Okay. Right. All right. Listen, I'm not going to talk about Brexit because people keep asking. Because some people aren't happy about it, and some people are happy about it, and I don't want to upset anyone and all that. So, you know, we got enough to deal with West Ham at the moment. So, okay, Kent Hammers, he said it can still be done if they've submitted the paperwork. You are absolutely right, Kent. Absolutely right. As long as the paperwork went through, he's fine. They could get the paper. In fact, you'd prefer them to get the paperwork through, then take the photographs. Whatever happens, he had to be registered by noon today for him to be able to play in the Brighton game. Martin says, keep the faith. Doug. My grand knows Gerard Bowen, and she says he's signing. Well, if Nanny says it, who are we to who would say? Peter said, did Bowen sign? Not yet, Peter. We're waiting. That's why we're here, mate. You're late to the party. Oh, Harry, can't say that, can you? Surely. Fan base is divided enough about Brexit. Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what. Can you imagine? Do you imagine not getting the Brexit vote if that's what you wanted? Getting your self-assessment wrong with only an hour to go, and then finding out that Crystal Palace had signed Bowen. I mean, that would be a bad day, wouldn't it? That'd be a bad day. Jeffrey says he's heard that Moyes warns Lanzini and Haller on their form. How do you think that conversation went? Probably with a Scottish accent, I would imagine, Jeffrey. I don't know. We don't know these things. I don't think that many leaks come from the training ground. It can't be. I mean, you've got to remember, Moyes has only got one assistant at the moment in there. There's not anybody else who would possibly be leaking this stuff. Haller, he don't speak to the press. Lanzini's not speaking to anyone. Moyes, there's probably only 3 people in the room. I think a lot of these stories are contrived and made up. Having seen some of the stuff, I can't tell you a story because I can't. But I've seen a rumor go today from something someone said, and I've seen everyone run with it. And I was there initially when the thing was said, and I'll tell you what, I've lost not faith. I didn't have any faith in it anyway. I can't stand all that nonsense. But I have seen it today, of people just making stuff up. Loads of it. What happens if Sanchez injures Bowen? Sanchez is gone, I believe, my friend. Who's texting? I've had to leave my phone on, but I'm a bit like Jim White. See what Sanchez importance happening. Who's messaging me? Oh. It's all right. It's me mate Wayne sending me a picture. He's not nothing. He is a West Ham fan, but it's not nothing to do with he's not confirming, but it's not. I'm not like in the know. I don't know anything. There's no one telling me that Bowen has signed or anything like that. I think he will, folks. I think he will. Question, Andrew. So then, Gonzo, after this window, pick your starting 11. That's a bit more fun. That's a bit more fun. Right, okay. I've never seen Sorchuk play. Never seen him play. So I can't really. I'd put Bowen in the team. Even though he signed for Crystal Palace. I'm joking. If you've just come in now, he hasn't signed for Crystal Palace. I'll put Sorchuk in the team. I'll put Bowen in the team for Sorchuk because I've never seen him play. And I know that Bowen can play at this level. It's going to be interesting to see whether we see him tomorrow. I would. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. I still think, even if we signed nobody, and we have, I still think if we could get a team out on the pitch which had somebody other than Zabaleta at right back, so be it Fredericks, Johnson would be my preferred one, but you know, one of the guys, the new lad Ngokia, one of the lads there, but that's not Zabaleta, and we could have a front three of Sebastian Haller, Felipe Anderson, and Mikel Antonio. And we just sort of played the way Moyes is wanting to play, which is a counter-attack. I think we'd have enough on a counter-attack. I think we'd be safe, even just with that. I think midfield needs improving. But I almost think one of the bigger problems with midfield was the fact that that we had all the games coming at once. We had the fixture congestion. Well, that's more or less done now. You know, we're out the cups, as I'm sure you're sadly aware. We've gone through the Christmas New Year bit. We get our break soon enough. So I think if the midfield situation where people were basically breaking down, or in Noble's case just not able to play 2 games in a week, is almost gone. I think we possibly got enough, because I think that we've got 2 problem positions, which is central midfield, and for the reason that I just said, which is fixture congestion and another body coming in, Sanchez leaving, has helped that. I think the other problem position is right back. I think that can be sorted as well. The other one is pace. Well, if you've got Felipe Anderson and Mikel Antonio in attack, I don't think you've got a problem with pace. Basically, that's it. Edwards talking about Igalo, signed for Manchester United. Very skillful player. I used to really like him. He was good. Who's that? Aston Villa assigned someone. Don't know who it is. Sanchez deal fell through. They saw sense. They found out who it was, probably. Let's say Brian's team. Fabianski, Ngakia, Diop, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Sorchek, Rice, Antonio, Anderson, Bowen, Haller. Nice team, mate. It's 12. No, I'm only joking. Where's the bobble hat? Yeah. Man cave's a bit of a mess, I've got to say. Got to sort it out. But there's no one to tell me off in here. Nobody to tell. I am the king of my man cave. I'm the king of the castle. Hello, Jazza. Bowen deal off. Official source, says Max P. I don't know. Official source? There's no official source, is there? I mean, there is an official announcement, but there's no source, is there? Where are we? Greetings from Belgium, says Martin. Greetings from the shed, Martin. Ex-West Ham United employee. Extension submitted, which means we have until 1 a.m. X has said in dirty. Well. Anyway, listen. It has to be, doesn't it? If it's not done now, you have to have the extension. I still think it's done. What is silly that it does get to this? I do think they've had. I've got to say they've had all day to do it. And whilst I have every sympathy with the fact that we only started negotiating late yesterday afternoon, the fact that Crystal Palace done all the work, I get that. It does seem that others can get these sort of deals done more quickly than us. But if it gets done, it's all well and good. If it doesn't get done, there's going to be I shouldn't say that word. There's going to be no, I shouldn't say that word either. There's going to be discontent tomorrow, should I say? There we go. But anyway, I don't. By the way, don't. When I said earlier on, official thing, it's off. Don't. I was mocking that, by the way, because I can see one up there. I didn't. I don't believe. I'm just reading it out. I don't believe that. I don't believe. If it was off, we wouldn't hear. It wouldn't be an official source that said it would just be off. Tone says, guys, if we had a new board with serious money, could you see them tearing down London Stadium and building bowling replica in its place? Would it benefit them and financially? Right, Tone. No, they wouldn't build a bowling replica. Anybody that wants West Ham United is going to be buying. West Ham sign Jared Bowen. There's official for you. West Ham sign Jared Bowen. I think I said that before anyone typed it. Hooray! There we go. Told you it'd be all right. All right. I'll start now, Okay. I am looking at my TV, Paul. Bless you. I'm looking, Paul. I'm looking. Can you see it in my glasses? You see it? Did you see there was somebody that watched a whole boxing match through his glasses and streamed it on YouTube so as they could sort of, get away with the copyright stuff? Anyway, that's the good news, right? This is good news. We're happy. This has been like therapy. We relaxed. We've had a nice, relaxed last little while. So there we go. It was as we suspected. The paperwork was submitted before the was submitted actually before 11. It must have been for them to announce it now. The deal is done. Don't be surprised if the deal was done some time ago. They've only just announced it now. Do not be surprised to find out that actually the pictures come out very, very soon of the shirt and all the rest of it. It's not been as hurried as we think. Would not be surprised about that at all. We've got the Hammers Chat imposter in the chat saying 3 boats tomorrow. You've got to register. If you want to come to the boats, only 20 spaces left. You've got to click on the link. You've got to get They got to get a ticket. Max P said the official sources let me down there. Well, it can happen to the best of you in the nose there, Max. That's all I can say. Okay. I am very, very pleased. I'm very happy. Yeah. Now we can talk about our team. Now we can imagine how it will impact the first 11. Now you can start choosing which player you're going to drop. Wonderful. I'm very, very happy with it. I'm going to stay with you for another 5-10 minutes before we go. And because I've got a game tomorrow. But I'll tell you what, I think we go to the game with a spring in our step. Well, I'll speak about myself. Go with a spring in my step. Hopefully see a sword check. I should have said, I didn't say earlier. I did. So as you know, I'm not lying, by the way. I posted this on a forum at 7 o'clock this evening, right? By the way, at hammerschat.com. You can go see it. I posted it there. I've been posting from this afternoon that the deal will be fine. All right, the deal was done. Very early on, I heard today that he had that they'd actually booked him into the Marriott for tonight ahead of parading him in front of the fans tomorrow. That was the plan. And I wrote that. You can see. Check back. I typed that about 7 o'clock this evening, something like that. Gonzo, give us a wave. Look, Ryan, I do not wave. I'm not Deli Ali, am I? I'm not going to wave at the screen. I will wish you hello, though. A merry hello. Where's me hammers? That's better, isn't it? Me light's a bit... That's a bit high, me light, actually. I'm going to break this. Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? I'm going to end up breaking the man cave. I think I'll just leave it be. I think I'll leave it be. How are we feeling? Everybody's happy? Surely everybody's got to be happy with this. One scout. Jonathan's one scout. We've only got one scout. We do. Oh, but what a scout. He can pick a player up from Hull, I tell you. The King says he played 4-3-3. Fab, Cresswell, Oggy Diop, Freddie Rice, Sorchek, Fornals, Anderson, Antonio Bowen. That's what he calls a counter-attacking team. Gary says I might pop up and get on your vid tomorrow. Gary, do. Yeah, Gary, please do. What are you talking about after the Dewberry, after the final whistle? If you're there, Gary, you know where we are, mate. At the bottom of the steps, 229. You know where we are in the stadium. Come and have a look. Come and say hello, and we'll say some. I think we'll have some positive things to say. Come and join me and Tone for the post-match instant reaction, Gary. If you're around, buddy, that'd be nice. Be nice to see you, mate. Bumped into Gary. I only saw Gary from these videos. He sent videos in. I bumped into him outside the ground once. It was very, very nice to see him. In fact, I've seen loads of people from the chat over the last few games. Actually, it's been very nice to see everybody. I've got to thank. I know I'm going to say the name. I know it's rude, but I'm going to Farcanal. He came up to the boats. He brought me a CD because he was listening to what like music I like and all the rest of it. He brought me a CD and he came up, introduced himself, brought me a CD. It was very lovely of him. Thank you, my friends. Of course, I thanked him in person. Francis, my friend, says, is this another 10 out of 10 rate transfer window like the summer, which turned out to be a travesty? Simply wasn't enough. That was a final nail in the coffin. We won't know, mate. As I say, I think the Bowen one, he's a good player. I don't know the other geezer. I don't know. Couldn't pass judgment on him. Let's celebrate with a round a golf in Palm Springs. As Hammer Mulder, right? He come down to the boat. Saw him very, very recently. He offered me a trip to Palm Springs. I am terrible at golf, by the way, but I've got, as a few of you will know, I've got all the gear and no idea. But I very much appreciated that. Rob is happy. Says, great signing, Gonzo. Shame we didn't add Matty Cash as well. Yeah, you know what? Maybe he just took one look at Ngokia the other day and thought, actually, I can probably manage until the summer. Got a splinter. Oh, you didn't tune in to find that out, did you? That's for sure. Gary Pace has got to give it to Moyes. He's putting in the hours. I tip my hat to him. Are you wearing a hat, Gary? Yes, sorry. Jerry thinks he might get injured as soon as he signs the contract. Well, like a pen with, sort of straining finger signing the contract. Holding up the shirt. Gets an elbow injury. Tennis elbow. Holding up the shirt. Moose just tweeted Bowen is a West Ham player he's signed. Boo. Not boo to sign him. Boo Moose. You know that. If you watch me on every day on a forum channel, on the lunchtime videos, you know what I think. Moose. Hello, Mark. Mark says he only know if the transfer has been a success when the season ends. And if the man has scored a shed load of goals. Wish him every success. We all wish him every success, Mark. Am I better at golf than DG is at Random Football Club? Well, funny enough, one of the best shots I've ever played at golf, some on videos. If you saw that, you think, hey, this geezer knows what he's doing. I'm so bad at golf, and I've played quite a lot. I've never broken 100. I've never shot less than 100. That's how bad I am at golf. Terrible, awful golfer. I do like to get out, though. Maybe I should stop drinking when I'm playing golf. Anyway, I joke. I've only ever done it once. Do you honestly feel... Oh, do you honestly feel two signings are good? I don't know, Lee. I don't know, mate. I think one of them is. I don't know the other one. If we lose tomorrow, I reckon there'll be problems in the ground. I've got to say it was a consideration tomorrow about going or not. I do, I think with the signings, a little feel good. It's certainly stopped me taking my son tomorrow. That's for sure. I did worry. Things are bad. Things are bad at West Ham at the moment. We find ourselves in a terrible position. Chazza says Gonzo Moose thinks Bowen is his post-match pie. The chat's going very quick, by the way. Mark says, why don't you come to my charity golf days? Because, Mark, I tell you what, mate, I'd still be on the third tee when everyone else had finished. I'll be waving people through. I'm truly terrible. Oh, Massive Fitness. That is, I'd be too self-indulgent to read that out, mate, but I thank you for your lovely words, my friend. If we lose tomorrow, we'll go down, says Barbara. You know what, Barbara? I've got to. I don't disagree with you, but I've got to go in positive. Actually, I've got to change. I've done so much moaning about the board. I've done so much moaning about the club, the transfer strategy, the scouting. I'm a bit bored of myself, if you know what I mean. So I've got to go in. I've got to go to the game with a positive mindset tomorrow. I've got to be pleased about getting this signing over the line, and I'll deal with. I will deal with anything else when it comes. WHU, Kane said, Bowen has come. Gonzo, what do you think? Look, I'll make that the last question, and I will deal with it because I am obviously aware that people have joined this video later. And so I will repeat what I've said just before I go. Mate, I'm really pleased with a signing. I think we've got one of the best players in the championship. He's the right age profile. And he scores goals. I think he shoots. I think he can score long-range goals. He can do tap-ins. He can score scruffy ones. I think he's direct as well. I think he also shoots early. I think when you shoot early, you make it more difficult for the goalkeeper. I think one of the biggest problems that teams have in staying up is the ability to score goals. I do think we now have plenty of people that can score goals. We were at one point reliant on Lanzini, I thought, to get in and help. I think Anderson's not scored for quite a while. I thought that was a hindrance. I actually do think Haller can score goals. I think Antonio can score goals. And I think this kid can score goals. I think it takes the pressure off and added to the normal goals that you will just score throughout a season from corners or a free set play goals, basically, be it a free kick or a corner. Then I think it should be enough. I also think Fornals is probably good for another couple of goals between now and the end of the season as well. Goals keep people up. And I think what we've done is we've bought goals today. I also think we've bought an injection to the squad. I also think we've bought a lift to the morale. So I think training tomorrow, actually no training tomorrow. We'll be in trouble if there's training tomorrow. I think training becomes a happier place. I think the dressing room gets a lift with 2 new players coming in. Probably more. Actually, I think the fans get a bit of a lift because we all feel all right now, don't we? I don't mean overall and in terms of the whole thing about the club, but going into tomorrow's game, we feel a bit better. I think it'll be fair to say that. Probably the most important thing is David Moyes feels better. I think David Moyes has got something that he can get his teeth into. And I think David Moyes probably feels that he's got a player in and he's been backed. He's got 2 players in. David Moyes will undoubtedly looked at that squad and thought, I need a striker, I need a central midfielder, and I need a right back. He's not got the right back, but he'll certainly feel that if there was one position he was possibly going to leave, it might well have been that one. Why? Because Frederick's coming back, because Ben Johnson is back. They're both back very soon. And then Gokir's got someone who's almost got a third choice there as well. So that was probably the one he would have been most happy to miss out on. Right, listen, folks. Tomorrow, join me on directly after the game for my instant reaction video. It's on the forum channel. Just remember, we've got 2 channels: this channel and the forum channel. The link to that is in the description below. So please make sure you're subscribed to both. You can join me on that. Be me, Tony, and possibly even Gary, who's in the chat, and anyone else wants to come and join us for the instant reaction directly from the stadium of the game tomorrow. Shortly after that, we'll have fan cams coming up with from Gio and Charlie. We will then have our post-match reaction with myself and Gio. If he's not too drunk, I say that like I don't drink, but you know what I'm saying. And then, of course, we'll be doing our player ratings video for our Patreon. So we've got loads of videos. We've got 5 or 6 videos going on tomorrow, that's for sure. What mood we'll be in, what the videos will be like, will totally be dependent on the result, I think, of course, and of course the performance. Safe journey in for those of you that travel in. Don't forget there are disruptions on the train. Maybe go Go and look now on your travel planner, by the way. Go and have a little look now. Just check what your trains are like tomorrow. You don't want to get up in the morning, find out your trains are late, and then be rushing around realizing there's a replacement bus service. There's trains out everywhere. If you're traveling up, by the way, I sound like a flaming news person on the radio, but I've got to say this now. If you are traveling up from down south using the M27, please bear it in mind there's a massive section of it is closed down for tomorrow, and there's a 20-mile detour, by the way. All right, so take all these things into account. Sort your travel out. I'll see lots of you tomorrow. Come down the boats. I'll see you before, I'll see you after. Let's hope it's a good day. I mean, you know, and you know what, you can go to bed. That's what DG said. He said don't go to bed, go to bed. I'm telling you now, all of you, go to bed now.